That opening has got to be triggering, whether you're in your car or at the bar. This show, this one right now, is the one we've been waiting for. People in the Bay Area have a strong connection to the classic rock band Journey. If you weren't initially moved by them in their heyday of the 70s and 80s, then maybe you've drunkenly sung their songs at the karaoke bar. It's one of those standards that you absolutely have to belt out. And now Filipinos and other karaoke heads rejoice. There is one among us, a Pinoy who's fronting the band now and slaying those upper register notes. Journey's music captures imagination and propulses inspiration. I'm sure No Girl next to me can bring us closer to that connection.
Well, just really hearing Journey's songs takes me back to when I was 8 or 9 years old listening to Escape. And, I hung out with my cool older cousins and that album cover with that weird sideways writing, And I totally saw myself in those anthemic songs. If only that lonely girl in middle school who didn't feel like she quite fit in with the nerds or the jocks or the popular kids or the punks would realize that community radio would bring her within inches.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, he had his arm around me.
He sure did, didn't he?
When we took the photo. But would bring me within inches of a celebrity like this, then I would have relaxed and realized that things get better. And with some gumption, dreams can come true, just like they did for me when I interviewed an Asian person leading a mega band. And just like they did for Arnel Pineda.
First, maraming salamat to both of you.
Thank you. Maraming salamat.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Ramon, I've been following your career for a while, starting with your thesis film, to Imelda, and with The Learning. With Imelda, you have a controversial woman, a polarizing woman, but a woman who is indelibly fused to a people's narrative. And in The Learning, you explore mga bayong bayani, the new heroes, the overseas Filipino worker, and they have long-time social and economic placement and responsibility to the Philippines. How does this film fit in with what I'm thinking is a strong theme in your work? Things are just not as they seem.
This story came to my attention. I clicked on that same YouTube link that Neil Schon did, saw Arnel singing faithfully, and I'm like, oh my God, if he got the gig, someone should make this film. It wasn't even any thought of fitting into an oeuvre. No, it's like, how can you not make it, Of course, the next question is, was Arnel willing to be filmed? Because without, I think, Arnel's cooperation, I don't think it would have been as interesting a film. I mean, story is king, right? And you can't pass up the story. I think it would be something I'd always regret if I didn't do it.
Well, so you were on that first tour, and it didn't, based on the film, it seemed like, Arnel didn't have a handler or kind of, someone who can help him make way through kind of Latin America and then on the American tour, but you were there. So what kind of role did you find yourself in, both as a documentary filmmaker and then also as a fellow Pinay?
I don't know, Arnel. I guess, at some point he could talk to us, and he could talk to the camera, to what he was feeling. I think it would have been a very different film the second year. It had to be the first year because everything was new to you, right? Everything was unfolding, and he sort of used the camera to almost like as a confessional. I hate to say that, but
to express all those brewing feelings inside me. The way I see everything. Because, like you said, everything is new, and you have to digest them all and try to understand them. Like why is it happening, and why is it happening to me? Not with somebody who deserves it more, but then the guys are assuring me, I deserve it. So
Yeah. And as a filmmaker, how did you decide how much you would become involved?
Arnel would become involved?
No, how much you would become involved in terms of being a friend or being
Well, she helps me carry the luggages for sure.
On crew.
Because I have no handler. So everybody's trying to help me.
It was going to be a very day film, right? We were going to be there as the story unfolded. So, I was behind the camera. You don't ever hear my voice on film. But obviously my presence is felt, right? And I think the questions I asked were particularly also informed by who I am and what my interests are as a Filipina.
Such as?
You've seen the film, right? Such as, did he think it would last forever? Or, now does he think he's going to live in this fairy tale, forever? So I think that's very rooted in culture and our very reactionary way towards life. Because, we're an island nation. We're always reacting to the elements. So you become a very reactionary kind of national character. So you don't think things will last, ever. And they don't, right? In the Philippines, they don't. The one typhoon, it knocks your house out and it's sort of over for you. So I think that his responses were very rooted in that kind of national character, which is real. And that's what I was going after.
So the film follows Arnel, but there's like a good chunk of it that marks Journey's musical history and sets up some of the dynamics between the different band members. Did you have, or what were some of your concerns as you saw the relationship develop between Arnel and the group? Like, were you paying attention to certain dynamics? And if so, how did some of those dynamics play out in the film or outside of the film?
Well, I always knew it was a relationship between Arnel and Neil, obviously, because he discovered Arnel and Jonathan, who became your voice coach on tour. So there was those three, triangle. So that was sort of the bromance that was going on. And I was very aware of that. And I think that came out in the film. So that was the relationship I was following. As opposed to Journey's history, it's really we deal with Journey's history in 5 minutes, and it's a 30-year history we deal with in 5 minutes because we had to put context, for non-Journey fans. So this is a film for, Journey and non-Journey fans, because it's at the end it's a story of this guy sitting beside me who, against all odds, really triumphed and had a very difficult childhood. And it's a modern story because it's YouTube, and it's a story of redemption.
And then we're going to work all the way through about the 26th of September. So that stretch there is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 weeks. I don't know that he knew at the time whether this would be a one-shot, whether, we were going to use him for this album, use him for this tour, and then see where it went. So he actually always felt that he was auditioning. It was always a test. Yeah. He tested a long time ago. He just doesn't always realize that. He's a full member of Journey. We go out on the road and earn money, and then we have expenses that come off the top, and whatever's left over, he gets 1/5 of. He's the lead singer in Journey.
So Arnel, the film takes place in that first year, and Ramona captures that. And you were unsure of your status in the band. You covered up your own struggles, like when you were sick, and you revealed certain challenges of being on the road. But by now, it's probably clear that you're like the man in the band. What have been the biggest changes to yourself personally and as a performer?
Well, I guess confidence-wise, I became more confident, and I became more like a man who believes that I am sure that I can do this. I can really fit in the band, and I can do more. I am now the person who's changed because of this whole phenomenon that has happened, and I'm happy that I am that person now. Otherwise, I would have been just the old guy who covers song after song of all those international artists that I adore so much, and I'm just thankful, really. I'm very grateful that everything is happening for a good reason, and I mean it's a concept that I would like to embrace for a very long time.
Is this your first Journey concert?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna love it. Oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you. And enjoy the show tonight. I created this banner here for the Journey as an expression of my love and appreciation for my favorite band of all time, especially now with Arnel Pineda. I created all of the shirts.
Beautiful.
Mine is special, of course. I love you, Arnel. I also love Jonathan. So, Jonathan. And 3 glow sticks for tonight.
It's so wild to look out and you see probably, I would say like 20% to more sometimes are Filipinos in some shows. And I never noticed there were so many Filipinos in the States. I'll be driving, honest to God, I'm driving down the freeway and someone will recognize me and it'll be like out of the window, that's Neil, and they're like shaking her arm, yeah, Filipinos. You found her now.
Who wants to take Ross? Me. Ross. Starting bid. What about Jonathan? I want Jonathan too.
You like Dean?
I want Jonathan. Oh, Dean.
Jonathan is all mine.
Well, so, Filipinos, Asian Americans, we're all celebrating your success. But Journey is an all-American band,
Yes.
Along with like Bruce Springsteen and Bon Jovi.
Can you believe, right?
And in the film, you talk about dealing with the haters and just trying to surround yourself with the people who do believe in you. So I'm just wondering, in terms of winning over the audience, what role did the band play in helping you fit in?
It's the 100% of support that they had on me, all the time. They told me, Arnel, you have it, just show it to them. Just wave your magic wand and everything is going to be fine. That's all. I mean, I held on to it until, so no wonder we've been having these, you can call a perfect bromance for 4 years now.
Yeah, but I said, I sort of saw that too because he kept the eyes on the prize. And the prize was the stage. There were so many things happening outside. The bloggers and the people who were talking, they hadn't even seen him. But it was all this, the positive and the negative. Yeah. But it was really, he kept the eyes on that stage. And the magic is the stage for 2 hours every night. Yeah, he did his magic. And that's all you can do because you cannot really respond to all the negative bloggers. What are you going to do? Respond? You can't. There's no finish. There's no point in it, really.
And well, what I did is just, toss them away and keep the good ones, and, put them in your hearts and voila, magic, and then people will be happy, at the end of the show, they say, it wasn't that bad at all. Watching Journey show with the new guy, So.
No, not bad at all. Actually, pretty awesome.
Pretty kick-ass. So this question actually comes from one of our listeners who's been paying attention to your career, and this can go to Ramona as well. Do you think there's something specifically cultural or Filipino about your talent?
I think it's evident every time that I'm up there on stage with the big boys. You can see me how that Filipino side of me is being shared with the international audience.
What is the Filipino side that you're saying you're sharing?
Well, it's the resilience, the passion, the fire that being brought out of me, using their songs, So it's a mix now.
Yeah,
it's a mixture of that Filipino and American rock and roll being fired out for the people.
Yeah, truly the resilience, because you should have seen in the first tours, like sometimes he'd be really sick, he was, because it's tough. It's a tough gig, those songs. But once he steps on that stage, man, it's like, he turns it on, and it's like, and you see the effort of those 2 hours every night. It's pretty incredible.
Adrenaline shot. 300 miles per hour, gano'n na. Bilis na ako, gano'n.
Adrenaline starts pumping and he takes off and runs out on this catwalk and he goes all over the place. And the fans are going crazy, except he's just running out of air. No air to sing now. We're running from one side of the stage to the other side of the stage.
He was just racing around this large circular ramp.
Sharp ako, nag-flat. And then I was thinking kung anong gagawin kong kilos. Ano ba? Tama ba itong ginagawa ko? Tama ba itong talon ko? Ano ba?
he's like here, he's there. He's all over the place. I never thought in a zillion years that this guy would be able to sing our material and find air to be able to run like that. And I was like, wow, this is going to be really interesting.
I was grinning from ear to ear because I'd be playing. I'm trying to concentrate. He's like, choom, 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 choom. He's jumping off the riser. And I'm like, my God, it's like David Lee Roth and Bruce Lee looking at me.
Just speaking about that, we saw in the film how you were sick. And then I read somewhere that you had like fallen off the stage and hurt your leg, but that was the beginning of the tour.
I think it was last year, yeah.
So, so how do you keep your, I mean, clearly it's a job that you have to do, you have to deliver, but I'm just wondering how you do pull yourself together to, you know, perform for 2 hours when your throat is sore or, you know, you just hurt your leg. Like, how do you pull that together?
Well, you prioritize. I mean, your what you want with your life. Well, this is what I want. I love doing this. So, you know, sleep and discipline to what I eat and, you know, the physical training, I apply them all to myself, you know, just to make sure that, you know, I mean, every night of gig with Journey would be, you know, something not to forget, you know.
I think Ross called you the monk.
Yes.
Yeah, on tour, the monk.
Yeah, just on tour.
Because you really you need just on tour, right? That's fine. No, because you have to live a very disciplined life. It's like that. You can't. It's really very disciplined.
Those lusty foods, you know, it's just
you can't.
It's out of the question.
Food to other things.
Yeah, just rubbing alcohol. Sanitize yourself, but you can't put it in your mouth.
So you're known for your ability to belt out these hard-to-sing Journey songs and your ability to give a stellar performance when you're running all around the stage. What is your favorite Journey song to perform and why?
A lot. There's just a lot. Too many, just too many. You know, they've got a lot of great songs. I mean, I wish we'll do more of those great songs. Those songs that we haven't played in the past. We can. You know, I need to sing those songs. You know, I'm just happy that, you know, we can have those new songs in our repertoire this coming summer tour.
Well, what's the hardest to sing?
What's the hardest to sing? Wow. When you're not in very good condition, I think each song is just hard. Really, they're just really hard because they don't rest. It's all like up there.
Upper register.
I don't know how Steve Perry got away with those back in the day, you know. But he sure did.
Getting away with it too.
But oh my God, it's like I don't know. You just have to.
Can I just ask, like, how you feel about the new content, like the stuff that you've been writing with the band now? Like, how do you feel about it?
Well, I'm just very grateful. You know, I mean, the kind of trust that you know they're giving on me. I mean, to be a part of the creative process of, you know, writing the song with them. I mean, I'm just very thankful. Really, they're giving me a chance to, you know, to share with them, you know, the side of me that's you know, that's firing up, you know. So.
Beginning our negotiations, re-recording in the studio, Liveheads, it was kind of scary because we didn't have a singer at that point. And it so happens that Neil's on YouTube late at night, and I guess you must have clicked on Journey vocals, Journey singers, or whatever.
I looked under everything. John and I have both been trolling for like weeks, you know, and I was pretty much aware of everybody that is out there. You have all the Journey tribute bands, of course. There's plenty of guys that you could use to get through a tour. I was looking for something a little more special than that.
We needed a singer. We needed a singer badly. We had an album planned. We really weren't sure where we were going to go. I think we all were stressing about it somewhat. Neil spent all of his waking time on the internet.
I looked and looked and looked and looked and looked and looked. I was getting really burnt out. I wasn't finding anyone. I stumbled upon Arnell like in the 11th hour when I was ready to give up. I just clicked on a link, like I'll give it one last push, and I pushed it, and Arnell popped up with his band singing in Manila at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Highway ride into the midnight sun. Wheels go round around on my mind.
And I go, wow, he's got some serious pipes. And proceeded to watch all the other videos. Listen to him constantly fitting into the mold of whatever song that we're doing. And I went, this is too good to be true. I go, it's unreal. I've never heard anybody that could do that with their voice. That's the guy, I said to myself. He's the guy.
It's like 12 o'clock at night. Neil calls me. I found this kid on YouTube. He said, it's in Manila, though. It's Manila. I get online here in the office, and I look, and I listen, and I'm like, I call him back. Kid can sing. Great voice. Unbelievable. I said, but can he speak English? Is he even, I don't know, Neil. It's like, it's far away. It's in another world.
So the film is sort of this rags to riches story, and
only rags.
and
I'm saving now. Maybe 20 more years. Yes, I guess.
Well, and when you were young, you were literally like singing for your supper. So in California, in particular, arts education, music and arts in our public school system has just been decimated. And so, can you talk about the importance? Like, how did you first come to singing, and what was the importance of music in your early life?
You can call mine an innate one. I was born with it because I was 5 years old. I remember I can already finish a Michael Jackson song, and my parents would be so happy, to just hear me. Wow, you can really sing. So from then on, no looking back. I started early. I think there should be more support, because I believe it's one of the foundation of a feel-good society.
Do you want to talk about the foundation that you started?
APF, it started here actually. This group of ladies who has helped me, and I'm really thankful that they did, and I continued doing it in the Philippines. Now it's based there. We try to help these street kids who doesn't have any money or really poor and can't take themselves to school, to study. So we are trying to put up at least a school center for each place that we choose, and get the help of these volunteering teachers and child psychiatrists, so that we can help build a better dream for them.
Tell them about that. It's APFI.
APFI, yes, Arnell Pineda Foundation, yes, and we actually have a project now that's about to finish. It's in Laguna, in the Philippines. So hopefully we'll be able to help 100 kids, and help them at least get a weekly education.
And Arnell, like you just mentioned, you're helping out the public in that sense, and that, you're basically the ultimate OFW, You are.
Explain what that is.
The overseas Filipino worker, and, I think a lot of us know that OFWs provide heavily to the GDP in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. So we know that you're giving back to the people, but how have you given back to your family?
Yeah, for my family, my kids' education, I'm setting them up. I want to give the best education that I can give to them, because I never had a very good education. I'm a high school dropout. with my wife. You know, I try to give her those things that I promised that I'll give to her. You know, and then to my helping out my father. He's quite old now, so I mean, I it is only mine the obligation, you know, to help him out. Among the siblings, I mean, my brothers, I have three other brothers. I mean, I guess, I mean, you can say I was the luckiest one to get this kind of opportunity. So, you know, all the responsibility and the obligation is on me to help out. No, I'm the eldest. Yes. So, which is okay. Which is I'm really happy to do and to give, because it's giving back. You know, I mean, without my father and without my mom, I mean, I would have not been here, you know, facing you guys right now, and I'm doing this interview.
Well, and then what about how have you given back to the scene that you came out of, like the guy who uploaded the YouTube video, and you know?
Yeah, well, we've been talking. You know, I've been asking him what are the things that he wants to do with his life. I mean, he's actually like. Living a family life now, so he's still in Subic Bay. That's where he wants to go. I've been inviting him over to live in Manila, so he could, we could do some business together. But then, he chose to stay in Olongapo. So,
well, we're excited to have your story shared here in the Bay Area, and to see the tour come back to Lake Tahoe this summer. So thank you so much, Arnel Pineda.
Coming back, yes.
Yes.
Thank you, really.
And Ramona Diaz, thank you.
Oh, our pleasure. Thank you so much.
Ramona and Arnel's chemistry is evident on film. Her access to Arnel goes past the backstage of arenas. In fact, I feel like the film allowed Arnel to appropriately travel back to the Philippines. Sure, there's the actual geographic travel, but there's a metaphorical travel as well. Arnel with Journey is not Arnel in his new home in Manila. The Chinelas come on, the Tagalog malalim, much deeper than it is with the bandmates. As she said earlier, Ramona's films take shape based on how informed her perspective is. And Ramona takes her very Pinay perspective, stays committed to presenting even-handed arguments on what constitutes the Pinoy, or Pinay, in all its diasporic splendor. Ramona is still fresh in her documentary career, but her strides are strong, her notes nearing pitch perfect.
To learn when the film will make its theatrical return to the Bay Area, visit everymansjourney.com. We're going to take a music break with Wednesday's Dead by the Jack Lords Orchestra.